Good evening and welcome everyone to the Violence League Split 3 Week 2 Day 1. I'm Kachka, joined by Temporal, and we're going to be bringing you the Division 4 match between Vengeance Academy and Hentai Haven. And Temporal, how are you doing? Are you ready for this?
Fantastic. Let's cast League of Legends. It's good to be back for the is this the summer split or the autumn split? Third split of the
yeah, it's just
I
third
can
split.
read. Third split. Why not? One extra split than everyone else. Proof that Valence League is just the best place to be.
I mean, yeah, maths just said it, 3 is more than 2. However, we do have a match today, and it is the first one for both of these teams in Division 4, so, the standard thing, more or less, you want to start off your split on a win, and if you can make yourself look good, then suddenly that sort of just lines up the entire competition for you.
Absolutely, momentum really important in all league-based competition. Get ahead early, gives yourself extra room to experiment, pivot, or otherwise get a greater advantage later by either taking things slightly less seriously, gaining some more information about your opponents, or hiding strategies and making sure that you have the best positioning for the playoffs.
Yeah, that is of course very true, but as it is, a new split basically for these teams. There has been, of course, some movement. There has been a lot of movement, actually. It's kind of hard to keep track. So the teams are mostly new. However, there is one thing that I am willing to look at. And for Vengeance Academy, Somtha, Franklin, and Serenica, I believe were playing on the same team before. If I could only remember which one of them it was. But they were playing on the same team, so maybe could be looking at that. Could it be the advantage that they need? We'll see.
We'll see. Always good to see people come back and stick together through splits and develop those larger rosters and those friendships that sort of carry on and live on. And we'll have to see if it does give them the edge here today. Otherwise, a new split, a chance to shake off the mistakes of last time and get back in there.
Alright, well, the teams are getting ready. Hopefully we will be jumping over into the Champions League for the first game very soon, as you said, can't wait to finally get into some League of Legends casting.
Definitely. I've missed this so much. We are ready. We will be getting in just a moment.
Yeah, just to, remind everyone, we will have Vengeance Academy sitting on the blue side with Hentai Haven on the red side. So that's something to think about in the draft, basically. Actually, Temporal, correct me if I'm wrong here, but we are still, I believe, in a more red side favored meta in terms of the draft. Well, I did hear such a sentiment, so basically let me explain, because I did sort of just throw a big statement.
Go on.
Basically, in the first 3 picks, you get 2 power picks, whereas your opponent gets 1. And in a meta such as this one, there are often so many picks that you can't ban all of them out. There's going to be probably at least 3 good picks that you want to take, and so having to pick 2 of them is probably better than having to pick 1 of them. That's what I meant.
Also, the R5 really strong at the moment, making sure you can fix any one lane in your favor. A big set up into sort of the tempo-based meta at the moment, where you get some pick, then you move it through the dragon, you insta-swap for Rift Herald, you swap it back down at the earliest opportunity, you keep going, you take every objective on the map, get out of control, end the game without trying too hard to fight or interact with your opponents. That's something that R5 really does lend itself towards.
Yeah, and especially it helps if any of your players are able to... let me be more specific. If your top and mid laner can play champions that can switch around. Because power of a flex is even more important, and so many times I've seen in various different competitions, a team pick a flex, and suddenly the opponents think it's going into one lane. But little do they know, suddenly you've got 2 losing matchups, and what are you going to do then?
It is Set maybe the most prolific at this, so just going wherever he wants to. Making sure your opponents have to stay on their toes throughout the draft phase.
Yeah, maybe. Well, who knows?
Apologies, I'm being spammed by a family member, as I'm sure many can relate to.
Yeah, that's fine. We are just waiting for everything to get ready for the game. There is a lot going on in the lobby chat. I can't be asked to actually keep
Go
up
on,
with
we'll run it down.
all
We'll
of
run
it.
it down. What's going
But
on?
yeah. Alright, though I am getting a TLDR. Okay. We need someone else to spectate the Champions League. So yeah, we're just gonna be waiting a few more minutes, Temporal, so
Okay.
you know. We get to talk about stuff.
Things. How have you been? What have you been up to this last week? Forget the League of Legends.
I mean, if you forget the League of Legends, what else can I really be doing during lockdown? You know?
Fair enough.
It's
Fair enough.
it's a fun thing. You just get to just live cast to cast.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, maybe play some League of Legends. Nexus Blitz is back. I'm insanely happy about that, honestly.
It's been fun. There's all sorts of wacky things.
Honestly, my favorite is when the first event is Battle Royale, then you just pick Gragas or Poppy. And preferably both if you're in a pre-made. Honestly, good luck if you're playing against that.
I don't know. Have you seen the Tom Kench thing that crops up again? Like, it was a thing in season 4, but there was a very highly voted post on the Reddits of a Tom Kench making sure that Poppy took a hammer trip with him all the way over the map before spitting her back out and carrying on the fight.
Now that you say that, I think it rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, apparently, Tom Kench, you know, the DPS check. He can just eat the figure, so no one deals any damage to it. So if you're winning, that's a really good way to make sure you just buy time.
What did I see? That things that like lock onto and then deal like fixed CC to champions, like Kled insta one shot the big champions, like the Soraka robot, the Teemo robot.
Ah.
What? You Bob Stroyer in chat dropping the knowledge bombs. Urgot ulting loot Teemo and stealing it for free. Bob, you are a monster.
I mean, yeah, that's also true. Also, I think my brother told me that. I never verified it in game. So, you know, he might be trolling me, blame it on him.
Well, even if it's like the same as Summoner's Rift, there's gotta be like a threshold where you can like steal it, even if it's not like, you know, just, like it spawns like, I'll have this, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, but also apparently the DPS check thing has quite a lot of HP, so any percent max health damage abilities apparently do quite a lot.
Yes.
Mordekaiser and Mumu are the two champions that I know my brother mentioned that are like, yo, you can actually win by like 150,000 DPS. I'm like, wait, what?
Just stand under it. What did I think I had Teemo with Leandries and I threw a shroom at it and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. It got out of hand very quickly. What else?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed the Spirit Blossom stuff? I haven't bought any of the skins yet, but I am on the pass. I've thrown my riot points into the abyss.
I'm not that keen on buying skins in general, but honestly, the Thresh one does look good, and I do like to play myself some Thresh from time to time, so
Ooh.
maybe.
Maybe. All right, we got a solid maybe. Let us know what your favorite things about the Spirit Blossom event so far in chat. I think it's been generally well received, but always good to know what everyone thinks.
You know, the dialogue's a bit questionable at times, but
I love it. It's so self-aware and flavorful. I'm not super into visual novels anymore, but there was a time, Kachka. There was a time when I just didn't want to play like real video games. I was like, no, I will enjoy this, and it feels like watching television.
I mean, fair enough. So yeah, in case anyone just tuned in, we are waiting for one person to come in so we can get into the champion select. But yeah, in the meantime, we're just talking about the news on the League of Legends. I still actually haven't seen Yone's abilities. Apparently,
right, it is Yone.
Apparently it's just the second Yasuo, and I'm like, do we actually need it in League of Legends?
He's not the same as Yasuo, and he's very much less Yasuo, more Orianna, and like a little bit of Yasuo. Like checking out his abilities on the Skin Spotlights channel was pretty insightful. You can sort of Illaoi yourself And then all of your stuff deals like bonus damage, and then like executes like a Z ult. That's his E. I can't remember the name of all the abilities just yet. His ultimate is like a Yasuo dash forwards, but doesn't have to go through anyone. And then like everything behind it gets like shockwaved and like knocked up into the middle. And then of course if you use it with your ult, you get bonus damage. His Q is pretty similar to Yasuo's. It's like but like less of an auto reset, more of like a swipe. And then the W is like pretty similar to a Camille swipe.
Huh. Yeah, that does
So yeah,
seem interesting.
You can see like the brotherliness of it, but otherwise very different champions.
Yeah. All right. I think we might be getting into the champion select soon. So
I can
hopefully.
relate. I can relate to Bob Stroyer. I like the icons and emotes, and I can't afford the skins. I wish I was disciplined enough to say the same, like I should.
Well, everyone is now ready. We have everything we need to start the champion select finally. So, fingers crossed, any minute we'll finally be going in. Come on.
Dun, 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 dun,
Get
dun,
ready,
dun,
people.
Dun, can you feel the hype, Kachika?
I mean, I can. I mean, let's be honest. There's still a whole champ select in spectator delay, but I can't wait. So you know.
Oh, we're nearly there. We're nearly there, friends. We're on our way.
Okay, come on. There's no one. Come on, Asko. There's no reason to go top to bot. If the team is ready, the team is ready. We can start.
Oh,
no? Okay.
I can feel it. I can feel it, Kachika. I can taste it.
I mean, the game is close.
Where are you?
I don't have enough riot points to buy time for this. Come on. Hey, there we go. Finally, some champion select. So, yeah, in case anyone forgot, Vengeance Academy, they will be on the blue side with Hentai Haven. On the red side, Kaiser is going to be the first ban straight away.
Alright, we're back to our Valent specials. I will not go down by like percentages or like efficacy. This is clearly a target ban. I imagine Samvet is a Kaiser savant who loves diving the bat lane, and that Somtha is an ignorant Dr. Mundo player who don't want no damage and will go where he pleases. Instead, Mordekaiser coming back over the other way. Mundo has a pretty good matchup to Mordekaiser, so maybe managing the bans here in the backwards and forwards manner. Morgana goes missing, and Yumi will be the match.
Yeah, so two supports, both pretty obnoxious at just empowering their AD carries, and it could also, suggest maybe more of a shift away from enchanters, more towards the playmakers / damage dealers. Hopefully, at least for me. I feel like over the last months we've had so many enchanters in the support position. It's like, come on, where is Zyra? Where is all those, damage dealers?
So I have a theory about this, and I have no maths and only personal feelings. As the Volibear B1, I'm proud of you, Vengeance. That's some flexible drafting. Yeah, the enchanter item changes, and the changes to do with gold generation, where you stop earning gold after the first 1,000 as a support, has really like trash can supports like Zyra, who needed that long-term gold generation throughout the mid game. It's like swing up into 1 or 2 core items. It's really like put a dumpster on them. It's now much easier to just play Thresh, play the team fight, play aggressive, and sure, you're going to get to 2 cheaper core items than they are for Zyra or other mage supports, and just continue snowballing from there. Like, the cost of a Zeke's and a Redemption is surely less than a 2 mage items that you can't choose beforehand. Ezreal Nautilus will be the reply into the Volibear. Some comfort for Samvet and Adorkable, as Nautilus and Ezreal do slightly different things, but both quite ignorant in what they do.
And the response is just going to be Lucian Braum, so a pretty strong bot lane duo, I would imagine, trying to kill the Ezreal Nautilus. However, maybe more of the Nautilus than the Ezreal.
Definitely Nautilus will be slightly vulnerable in the lane against Braum. We'll have to make sure he picks and chooses his positions. Orianna means it's not the Nautilus bait in the mid lane, which is fine, which is good. I think that's probably also fallen off compared to last year. Thank you very much, Doinby. And instead, we're going to see some of the blind mid laners that do okay into Orianna taken away. A pretty good response. And some more comfort in the top side for Somtha.
Yeah, I would maybe like to see some junglers being taken away by the side of Vengeance Academy, trying to restrict Asko's champion pool. The thing is, Asko is more of an AD carry main than a jungle main. He, of course, I would assume, played quite a bit of jungle coming up to this entire split and this game in specific. But Volber is one of his bigger champions. The other one that I noticed in his OPGG was Zin. Not really playing it that much, but if it's something that Vengeance want to ban out, or just get rid of Garen. Guess that works as well.
They could jam us in there in this composition, but it does mean they have to try and get ahead in the early game. Something Orianna and Ezreal aren't necessarily so bothered about. They might instead want to tempo, get the ultimates in, get the dragons in, play 2 positions on the map rather than timings. So I don't know. I'm probably not a Lee Sin, a Xin Zhao game here for Asko. Sejuani locked in.
I mean, it's a jungler that, even if you're not playing it a lot, it is quite easy to just pick up. And hopefully, I mean, Asko has practiced it a bit. I know looking at his profile, he hasn't played a ranked game in a long time. That implies he has some other account practicing on it. And Sejuani just fits so well into the comp. You have a really, really strong teamfight setup coming out right now from the side of Hentai and you just like to see it.
Do love to see those. The pick composition for the red side, quite impressive. Any sort of lead in from the Sejuani and Nautilus will be followed up by the Ezreal and Orianna. The sort of stringing together of all that CC, not difficult to execute and will look fantastic. A Graves Karma. Oh no, I've been absolutely baited. Forget that Graves Karma synergy. We're going for Karthus for Vengeance.
It is most likely to be Karthus midline item. No, wait. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be. Hold on.
No.
That is a flex. You could put... so the 2 options I see is Volibear Karthus Karma or Karma Volibear Karthus.
Yes.
Oh boy. Well, now decision time for Hentai Haven. What do you look in?
Well, the R5, like the only way to try and deal with R5 is leave these flexes open in a way your opponent doesn't understand. Something we see more in the UK EL and LC is coaches trying to just leave that little bit of maybe not in there. It will look like the Karma's going into the mid lane. Not really fantastic against the Gnar in the top lane, but Volibear should have a fine time. Gnar has been picked a little bit as a counter, but otherwise, it's it's not the be-all end-all. It's a little edge of an advantage.
All right, then straight away with the Karthus, it's a jungler that, a year ago he was a very formidable opponent, or not even a year ago. That was actually way shorter than that. You'd see Karthus, he would just demolish everyone. Now when I see Karthus, I see opportunity to get him punished. However, that often requires your lanes to be losing or the opposing lanes to gain priority. So, talking about that, do you see the side of Hentai Haven being able to get a massive advantage in any lane matchup just from the champions that they have?
I don't really think so. It's going to be based on the small interactions where the junglers want to be at their particular times. Karthus is vulnerable to invades, but is otherwise, the no Karthus we know and love. Not much has changed there, really, despite all the love taps up and down with his abilities, damage numbers, movement speed, and otherwise. He will still achieve his goal. So to look to both sides for scaling and sort of the way the game is going to play out, ideally, the blue side, Vengeance here, want to either go super hard in the early or wait till Karthus is at the 1v5 stage, set up with the Volibear, make it impossible to kite forwards and outwards with the Wall of Pain, with Karma setting up the Lucian, with Braum making it all smooth together and Karthus controlling the zone with the stuns, the what's Braum's ultimate called?
Glacial Fissure.
Glacial Fissure, lovely. On the converse side, Hentai Heaven on the red side do want to try and play the tempo. They have to upswing out of this game from that first dragon, from Sejuani making a pick, from it not being followed up on by Volibear Karma. You have to sort of try and get that first dragon and make sure that Vengeance don't get on the board here.
All right, well, I guess that is something then that we will be looking at. And I'm trying to think, which of these lane matchups looks the most interesting? I guess mid lane is just going to be the farm matchup. Let's talk about top lane, Volibear versus Gnar, because both of... Well, I know Gnar can act as a lane bully in certain matchups, and Volibear, people have opinions.
For the Gnar to succeed in this top lane, it has to be trading onto something's Volibear consistently, trying to push the wave in, and then bounce it back in a position that means Volibear has to step up on low health. That is Na's win condition up here. Otherwise, the Volibear will get out of hand in traditional Volibear fashion.
All right, well, I guess that is then what we could be seeing. And the last line that I kind of want to see, hopefully Vengeance, if they go for the full early game option that you have highlighted, you will be most likely looking to play through the bot lane. So Lucian Braum into Ezreal Nautilus. Do they have a fun time? Can they even maybe set up for the jungler? I would assume with Karthus and into Ezreal, it's not even that easy, but is that something that they can look to play through?
So while Ezreal stacking is Manamune, Lucian has complete sort of agency. I'd be interested to see if it's Manamune Lucian, because I think that's probably a mistake here. We'd like delay Lucian's power spike till after it kind of mattered. Instead, like, see something a bit more traditional, like the hard dueling, like buy loads of damage, do as much as you can, as quick as you can. It will mean that he falls off later, but it will give him an opportunity in onto the Ezreal to stop them with the snowball, and making sure they don't have to go hyper late game to stay in this one.
All right, then, as we are finally at the end of the spectator delay, so we will be loading into the game, just seeing the runes, which is actually something that I am interested to see. What the sort of playstyle are these players going for? Yeah, let's just get into the game soon. And let the actions speak for themselves. You don't need our, questionable predictions.
I think our predictions are pretty good. Give
yourself
Serenica?
that is a press the attack Braum.
Is that a mistake or is this a thing?
I would assume. You see, if you know me, I'm a fan of like super off meta support builds, and everything that's not standard support, I would get to it. Yeah, I'm still loading in the game, by the way. But yeah, press the attack Braum with sorcery secondary. I am almost confident it's a mistake, but if it's not, they have burst. They have a lot of burst.
Hard trader. Okay, I am ready and synchronized. We'll be getting started with our replay in just a moment.
Yeah. My game is always the first game of the day that I'm loading into the spectator. It takes a while, so
it's alright, we're not in a rush. Okay,
this time it's my problem.
We didn't do so many predictions, so in Twitch chat, if you want to let us know before the action starts, if you prefer Hentai Heaven or if you prefer Vengeance here.
Alright, I'm pulse up 10.
Alright.
Alright, we are now finally live, and as Temporal said, let us know who do you think is going to win as we are going into the Summoner's Rift.
Alright, ping's coming out. We do have a line of scrimmage appearing from Vengeance, but the Haven are looking down the middle lane. Will be spotted out.
They will be spotted by Gekno. I am almost positive that has happened. And you can see Franklin moving backwards, not really trying to risk anything. Asko moving in. He's going to place a ward near the Raptors. That's it. That's the play.
That's the play. Maybe Gekno slightly regretting not being in position to auto that one down with Franklin, but what can you do?
Yeah, unlucky, I guess. However, early game, I don't think we're really expecting that much. I would say that with the double PTA bot line, actually, from Franklin and Serenica, if Adorkable steps up, he's going to regret it, because the damage reduction doesn't stack, but I want to see, actually, does the damage itself proc twice?
Don't they trigger towards each other? I'm pretty sure they just add up to 1, press the attack.
If that's the case, then they can literally proc it instantly.
Yeah, that is maybe an old version of press the attack. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Q auto from Serenica and then a Q double auto from Franklin will be the proc. So maybe some dark technology here. We'll have to see.
Okay, it cannot proc the damage twice. I have just been corrected. Cool. Double PTA bot lanes, not my area of expertise, I am willing to admit.
How dare you?
I mean, I don't know, how dare a play-by-play caster not know how a double PTA in the lane work? I mean, that's just unacceptable.
Double PTA works. Okay, both junglers here on the top side will be pathing down. I would have maybe preferred to see the Sejuani split the map from the bottom side to give Karthus some grief. Make sure his mana bar is fully chunked out for that red buff, but we will see how this goes. It also means the Nautilus has a greater role in the early game. Chiara going for the grasp up here in the top side. It means he is not looking 100% for that lane dominance and will instead be looking to scale as well. Otherwise, fleet footwork, press the attack. Conqueror even would have gone a little bit further.
Alright, Franklin going in. That's the press the attack proc onto a Dorko Ball. I just saw one, but I don't think Serenka can really auto-attack there. So a bit of trading also happening in the top lane. Chiara, nice Mega Gnar there to come out on top in this trade. As well, we go back to farming. Not much has happened here.
Not much has happened. Asko is now done with his jungle. We're moving out into the river. Looks like Gekno's going for the full clear, so we'll miss out on this one.
Chiara is actually doing really well on the trading, something that, I don't know if the camera caught on stream, but he managed to stun something and then jump out as soon as the Sky Splitter slow zone came down, and he pretty much avoided taking damage.
Oh, a little miscommunication there. Asko slightly out of position to move onto the mid lane. It did check. Gekno's red buff was a moment too late to interfere with the take on that one. Orm just trying his hardest in this mid lane. Goes down slightly in CS, but not too much.
The first dragon is going to be Cloud, so I can't imagine too much priority being forced from either team.
I think for Hentai Heaven here, they really do have to jump on this one. Even if it is a Cloud, it is really important for them to start swinging here. They don't win the super early, they don't win the super late, but they do have that road down the middle.
Okay, well, we'll see. So far, they do have the bot lane priority, and I like what Asko is doing. Doing the work early, moving in for a potential lane gank. If that works, could blow some summoners.
I think he's just been given away. Nautilus has just obtained the frost buff.
I don't know if you can see it if you're in the enemy team, can you?
Yes, you can.
Well, that's awkward.
You see that? You see that blue? See that blue ping between? That is visible through fog.
Okay, well, Chiara going in onto something in the top lane, getting a lot of good trading down. Something down to below 100. He gets the healing in, and Chiara transforms into the minion RS Franklin. He walks into the brush dashboard from Asko, and he manages to get all the stacks. Good flash away from Franklin in time as Serenica pops the Unbreakable, and the gank not really getting that much, just the flash. Look at the top lane though, first blood being picked up by something as Chiara does not expect the damage.
Definitely not, and not a Karthus around the wall as well. I believe was on vision, but there's nothing quite like the surprise Karthus wall of pain, just to convince you that you weren't getting away from that one.
And Chiara losing the flash means potentially being able to get punished by Gekno. Actually, same goes for something. And talking about the flashes, you have 2 gone on the side of Vengeance Academy, Somtha and Franklin, and 1 on Hentai Heaven in Chiara. I will be looking towards those lanes, see whether the junglers want to put any focuses. Gekno, just a drive-by on the mid lane.
Just a drive-by. I think Gekno less likely to come back to that lane as both flashes are now down, but it is a reminder for Somtha that when he gets level 6, there will not be a flash away from that ultimate. It will only be a little bit of a hop from Chiara. And that means that Gnar is all that little bit more vulnerable in a lane he is meant to be able to win in isolation.
Alright then. Asko moving up towards the top lane. I actually really wonder what's the state of the wave. So Chiara is, I think he's attempting to freeze, but he is slow pushing with the 4 caster minions. Actually, I don't really... No, you know what? Let's give him the benefit of doubt. He is slow pushing the wave right now.
Slow pushing. This will give him time to auto attack the Volibear and make sure that he's like getting under the tower and like trying to make sure that Volibear takes as much damage this time. And then if he bounces, he gets into the Gnar position. It's a little mistimed with going Mega, but that is nearly half of Volibear's health bar just for pushing the minion wave in. That's sort of what we need to see here from Chiara.
Sunbed forced out barely with barely any mana. and he doesn't really want to get in a position where summoners have to be blown. You can see a slight CS advantage down in the bot lane, but actually a bigger one slowly forming for Chiara. You can see that the wave is now sort of staying near Sophist Tower, so Chiara moving down. Actually didn't catch that control, you can see it near the blue buff placed down by Anti-Heaven. I'm not sure who placed it, but it's definitely going to give you some damn good information when Gekno is coming over in 10 seconds.
Definitely always good to track the Karthus, make sure you know where he is, enables all of that jungle movement. As speaking of which, Azko just taking a bit of a ride through the south jungle quadrant.
Alright, Azko is near the dragon. It has been started actually. He gets to clear out the ward and it is started. Both teams know about this though. So will Vengeance Academy choose to contest? You said that. Okay, well, no. Azko just gives up. Cool.
I think Azko giving up is definitely the smart move. Doesn't want to fight where he can avoid it. Well, he'll come back in a few minutes.
I mean, but I was setting up for a point. Like, come on, you don't do me like that, okay? But anyway, Sompha is now aggressing on in the top lane. I think that knowing that Chiara doesn't have flash and with the press the attack Volibear, he can just run up and threaten a good trade to come in his favor, and Chiara sort of has to respect it.
Can do. Chiara is showing us sort of the what you have to do here on the Gnar, like the dashes away from the Thundering Storm coming down, making sure that Volibear can't heal in the moment to moment. His health hasn't got much higher from that push in with Mega Gnar only a minute ago. Looks like Gekno just hanging around, just trying to make sure that something can carry on scaling in this top side.
Yeah, just giving the Volibear as much time as possible, as overall gold is still about 400, so really that first blood being the only difference maker in that department for the time being. Everything else quite even. If you look at the control around the dragon, you can see the wards also quite even, I'd say, with both teams having some defensive control, wards and Azko trying to upset the status quo as he's moving into the jungle.
So Anti-Heaven definitely have control of the river, but then a little bit of an interjection from Vengeance does mean they can see the pit and their Tribush. So no surprises for them, but if they want to move further forwards, they're going to have to burn wards and trinkets to get into the river safely.
Alright, and at that, 9 minutes in, still really waiting for any what I want to call major plays.
There's no action yet.
There was just that one first blood. We didn't see any major macro moves, any sort of, 4-man rotations and stuff like that, which sort of suggests to me that the side of Vengeance Academy, they're backing on the Karthus late game option, because let's be honest, Lucian and Karma won't get there at all. And then on the other side, Anti-Heaven, they're probably just waiting for the mid game.
Maybe, I think if they're waiting for the mid game in such a fashion, they should probably be trying to spawn the second dragon as fast as possible, get information on the soul. But instead, just gonna say relax, just chill out and see what happens with that one. There's always the potential for Vengeance to make a mistake, but I don't think we should be relying on it just yet.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't think relying on mistakes is ever a good strategy, no matter where you're playing. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes from here. So the gold gap has actually somewhat shrunk, which just tells me that the CS advantages have gotten bigger. And indeed, if you look at it, 26 now in favor of Chiara, and also about 9 as, okay, here comes the Glacial Fissure, but maybe at a bit of a wrong time for Serenica. Azko is walking down towards the broad lane, nails Serenica with the Glacial Prison, and picks up the kill, as that was some nice burst damage in favor of Anti-Haven. Another trade happening though in the top lane. Sompha is dropping low, jumps in with the Stonebringer, and Chiara just knocks him down with the boulder press.
Well, the Giant left on his own, unfortunately, as people fall on the top and bottom lanes. Gives the pressure over. Gekno in the wrong spot to contest the dragon. Fantastic work from Chiara to use that win condition, and Samvet to chain his True Shot Barrage onto the Glacial Prison. Oh, too many Glacials this game, it's going to do me in. But good work there to ensure all of the damage coming down at the appropriate time and send Serenica back to the pool. And this will be the start of the tempo snowball. It is slightly delayed, maybe, compared to what Anti-Heaven wanted, but otherwise will be the same tempo build-up, all the same. That is first dragon over to them. They've looked to the ocean. It will be a mountain or infernal soul, so it will be a huge boon to